My name is Ranger Kosto, and I'm going to demonstrate how to replace a prop on an outboard motor. Okay, there could be a number of reasons why you might want to change your prop. It could be damaged and you need to replace it so that it gets you back underway, or you just maybe want to try a different size to see how your boat will perform. There are a couple of tools that you're going to need to do this. A pair of pliers. There can be used different styles. You just a standard pair of pliers, needle nose pliers will work. An adjustable wrench will come in handy, and if things get a little stubborn, maybe a screwdriver. Okay, the first step on removing the prop is to locate the cotter pin on the prop shaft. You can see it right here. The ends of the cotter pin are pushed apart and we need to squeeze them together, and that's what the pliers are for. So we'll take the pliers and we'll get those squeezed together so the cotter pin is in a straight line. The straighter you can get it, the easier it will be to pull through and free up the nut that's holding the prop on. Might take a little wiggling, but it'll come out. Once you have the cotter pin out, put it in a safe spot. Then you'll need your adjustable wrench to loosen up the nut on the prop shaft. Once that's loose, go ahead and pull that off. Put that in a safe spot. And depending on the outboard manufacturer, there could be a different configuration of different washers or components that hold the prop properly onto the lower unit. On this one, it's a Yamaha. There's a smaller inner cup, and that holds on a larger cup. You need to remember how those went back together. So when you take your components apart on your prop, lay them out in a way so that you can remember on how they came apart, so that when you go to reassemble it, they reassemble in the right order and in the right direction. So those come off. At this point, your prop should be able to pull just straight right off from the prop shaft. At this point, you can decide to change the size, put on a new prop, whatever you need to do. On this particular motor, there is another washer that's inside that is a spacer between the prop itself as it turns and the inner seal. This is important that you put this back on the correct way as well if it comes off or you take this off. If you put it on backwards, the prop won't seat properly on the shaft and the nut won't go on and you won't be able to get the cotter pin back on. Okay, we've decided to put on our new prop or a different size prop. Remember, we have that spacer that goes in between the prop and the lower unit to protect the seals. So we need to make sure we install that on there correctly. So we'll get that put back on there, install the prop back on there, back on the shaft, make sure it spins freely. Then the spacer components go on. So we got our large cup, our little cutler cup, both those get installed. We will reinstall the nut. Go ahead and tighten that back down with your hand. On the nut, there's grooves in it that you need to align with the hole that goes through the prop shaft so that you can put the cotter pin back in. So this is where our wrench will come in handy, and we just need to get that aligned in between those ridges. Once you get it aligned, you want to spin your prop and make sure it's not too tight. If we over tighten that nut, the prop will not spin on the shaft, and could create a lot of friction, or it could actually be so tight that the motor won't even start at this point. So just make sure before you put the cotter pin in that your prop spins freely as the motor is in neutral. So this one spins nice freely. Make sure that, once again, we just need just a little bit. Adjust that, and we can reinstall our cotter pin. Now, in an emergency, you can reuse the same cotter pin, but it's recommended that you put in a new cotter pin every time that you do this. So in this case, we're just going to reinstall the old cotter pin, and it might need a little help going back in again. A brand new one wouldn't need this kind of help, but we get it in there and we'd pull those ends of the cotter pin apart, secure the cotter pin in there. Once again, make sure it spins freely, and there you go.